Okay, folks, today we're going to be making baked cheese, spaghetti, and meat. Notice I did not say spaghetti and meatballs because we're not going to be using meatballs today. We're going to be using ground beef. Now, this is something that I want to address before I get into the other ingredients that you're going to need for this dish. Most people, when they're making baked spaghetti and meat, they only use ground beef meat. This is ground beef. And for the healthy eaters out there, they use ground turkey. Ground turkey is a little healthier, so they claim, than ground beef. But I noticed most people, when they make this dish, they don't use sweet Italian sausage. This is my secret ingredient. It's not really a secret ingredient because some people do use sweet Italian sausage when they're making spaghetti, but a lot of people don't, believe it or not. A lot of people don't, and to me, this is the most important ingredient in this dish. When you use this, it just makes your spaghetti come out 1,000 times better. Just trust me on this and try to use sweet Italian sausage meat the next time that you make some baked spaghetti and meat. So you're going to need ground beef and sweet Italian sausage meat. We're going to be using a combination of the two. I'm going to be using some mozzarella, some shredded mozzarella cheese, and some shredded cheddar cheese. Right there, you can't see it. Shredded mozzarella cheese and shredded cheddar cheese. You're going to need a green pepper, a red pepper, a big onion. Going to use an onion. Of course, you're going to need spaghetti. This is the main ingredient. You need oil to broil the spaghetti so that it don't stick together. And we're going to be seasoning the meat and the veggies with some seasoning salt. You can use whatever kind of seasoning you want, but I use seasoning salt. I use black pepper. I use oregano seasoning. I use onion powder. I use garlic powder. And I use Italian seasoning. This is an Italian dish. Spaghetti is an Italian dish. So I use Italian seasoning along with that. And you're going to need some sugar. You're going to need some sugar to balance out the taste in the sauce. Everybody use sugar in their sauce, but I use a little more sugar than your average person because I like my spaghetti and meat to be just a little sweet. It's not super sweet, but I just like to use a little more sugar than the average person. Most people just use sugar to kill that tangy taste that come with the spaghetti sauce. But I just like to add about 2 to 3 more tablespoons of sugar just to give this dish a little sweet element. It really just makes it so much better. It tastes so much better when you add a little more sugar. So what you're going to need is some spaghetti sauce. You can use whatever kind of spaghetti sauce you like to use. I like to use mushroom sauce because I like mushrooms in my spaghetti and meat. So I'm going to be using a bottle of spaghetti sauce. I'm not going to be making that much today. I just want to do a demonstration and show you guys how to make this dish. So I'm going to make a small amount. So what we're going to do first is we're going to broil the spaghetti. Okay guys, so you're going to get your spaghetti and get your oil. We're going to be using about a tablespoon or 2 to broil the spaghetti noodles. You have to do this. You have to add oil to the boiling pot of water because if you don't, your noodles will stick together. I don't care what kind of noodles you're making. If you're making macaroni and cheese, or you're broiling macaroni for macaroni salad, or you're broiling noodles for seafood salad, whenever you're making noodles and you're broiling them, you have to add oil to the pot or else they'll stick together. So that's about 2 tablespoons of oil there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the spaghetti noodles. But I'm going to tell you guys what I do. I like to break mine in half because spaghetti noodles are really long. Then I'm going to lay them in there. And I'm going to allow them to broil for about 10 minutes. So guys, to save time, what we're going to do while the spaghetti noodles are broiling is we're going to use those 10 minutes to cut up our peppers and our onion. Like I said, we're going to be using a red pepper, a green pepper, and an onion. Red peppers are just to give it a little color, just for decoration purposes. So we're not going to use all this. We're probably only going to use 1/4 of this, maybe like that small amount right there. We're going to use all of the green pepper, and we're going to use the whole onion. So I like to cut my onions like this. Cut them down the side like this. So I cut them like that, and then I just cut them sideways. I like to cut them into small pieces, not super small, but you don't want really big onions in your spaghetti. So cut them up and dice them into really small pieces like that. Just like that. So we're going to cut our green peppers and our red peppers now. I work like that. Pretty much always cut my peppers the same way, no matter what I'm making. Just cut them downward like that, and then you slice them sideways. And after I get done cutting up all of the green and red peppers and the onions, I place them in a big bowl. Okay guys, so it's been about 10 to 15 minutes. So let's check our spaghetti noodles. See, they're well done, and you can tell that they're not overcooked. Yup, that's exactly the way they should look, just like this. They're not overcooked, they're not soggy. When they're really white and big, bloated up, that's how you can tell that you overcooked your noodles. So we're gonna go and drain these now that they're done. So let's go drain them. Like I told you guys before, when you're draining noodles or draining anything hot from the pot, make sure you have some cool water running on the side to kind of cool things down. We're going to drain these and let these sit for a minute until we're ready for them again. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our ground beef and our Italian sausage meat. We're going to chop it up as much as possible on this chopping board right here. Because the ground beef will pretty much break up on its own. It's going to pretty much break up on its own, so you don't really need to break this up. I'm going to squeeze it out like that. So we're done squeezing the meat out of the sausage fat. So you just want to kind of chop this up as much as possible. Sweet Italian sausage is really hard to really break it up and get it to be real smooth like ground beef. But you just want to chop it up a little bit before you place it into the frying pan, and you're going to just have to break it up a little more when you start frying it and the heat hits it, kind of help break it down. But it's going to just break this up a little bit like that, as much as you can. Kind of get it to look like ground beef. That's what we're trying to do here. And when you feel like you've beaten it up as much as you can, just add it to the bowl of meat and vegetables. And you do want to kind of over season this. You want to add a lot of seasoning, because when you add the sauce to this, and the spaghetti is going to kind of stretch out. And the sauce is going to kind of dilute it. So you want to make sure it's well seasoned. So that's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of garlic powder. I'm going to add a lot of onion powder now. About 2 tablespoons of this. I'll make sure that this meat is well seasoned. I like to make sure my food is well seasoned so that once it's done and I serve it to people, they don't have to add any more. We're going to add our seasoning salt now. You have to put a nice amount of this, about 4 tablespoons if you can. You're going to add your whole oregano or oregano. You need to add too much of this. Just add about a teaspoon of that. That's just a herb. Same thing with the Italian seasoning. Add about a teaspoon of that. This is just my recommendation, folks. You can use however much you want. Whatever season you like the most, you can use it. And we're going to add our pepper. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of that. Okay, guys, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a pot and you're going to add your sauce to the pot. And if you have a little bit of sauce left in the bottle, just put a little bit of water in there. Shake it up. And you're going to add it to that pot. It's going to kill that tangy taste and add some more flavor to the baked spaghetti. Like I said, I like to add not a lot, but a nice amount to mine. Okay, that's enough. 4 tablespoons. And you're going to get that a stir. We're going to dump our meat, Italian sausage meat, and our ground beef into this frying pan. And our veggies, of course, that we added to the bowl earlier. And we're going to cook that on high heat. Cook that on high heat or medium high. Don't have to be very, very high, but. And you don't need to add any water or oil to this. You're frying ground beef, and ground beef has, as you know, with most beef, has oil in it already. Lots of it. It has lots of oil and water in it already. So this is going to cook down. So we're going to cut this off now, and we're going to add this to the sauce. And I even let... this looks delicious. So we're going to add all this meat to the sauce. And I let a little bit of the oil and juice go into the sauce as well, just to give it more flavor. And that's how it looks there. That looks so good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the orange shredded cheese. And it's such a great combination. The cheese, the peppers, the onions, sweet Italian sausage, oregano seasoning, the sugar. It makes it a little sweet. Not too sweet, but add a little sweet element to it. Just really sends this dish over the top. I mean, this is delicious, guys. You have to try it. We're going to stir that in. Guys, this looks so good and it tastes even better than it looks. So you know it's good. You feel like you want more sauce, you can add more sauce. Some people like a lot of sauce in theirs. This is saucy enough for me. Make sure you give that a taste test. If you feel like you need more seasoning, you can add it now. But I'm happy with the way mine tastes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add it to the baking pan. It's time to bake it now. So nice and cheesy. The white mozzarella cheese. Make sure it's fully covered. Okay guys, and to that you're gonna add a little more Italian season on top, or you can use parsley flakes, but I'm gonna use Italian season. You're gonna place that in the oven and bake it on 350 for 25 minutes. Then you're gonna take it out. I got some Texas toast, some garlic bread, and 2 mozzarella sticks. That's what I like to eat baked spaghetti and meat with. It's crispy cheese on top. This is absolutely delicious, guys. It is really, really delicious. It looks awesome. And there you have it, baked cheese, spaghetti and meat. Hope you enjoy it.